This is a chapter presentation on older adults and Web 2.0.
What is Web 2.0? What is the difference between that and Web 1.0? As defined in our text, Web 2.0 is the business revolution in the computer industry caused by the move to the Internet as platform and an attempt to understand the rules for success on that new platform. The web has two components. There's the website's architecture and the application of the site. The architecture is the tools and techniques used to create the site, and the application of the site is the value it adds to the individual and organization. Understanding the difference between these two is necessary in understanding how older adults use them. The end goal for an organization using Web 2.0 platforms is to communicate with the user and to understand the user. This table from our book displays differences in architecture between Web 2.0 and Web 1.0. It also displays the implications of these differences. As you can see from these differences, the experience a user has with the site is individualized to how they interact with it, and that things are more streamlined with video and audio being incorporated into the site and allowing the site to update automatically. This slide presents the differences in applications between Web 2.0 and Web 1.0. From the changes in applications between Web 2.0 and Web 1.0, the experience is enhanced by the user's interaction with it. Now, with Web 2.0, instead of a user just consuming the content, individuals interact with the site, and value is added with their ability to contribute to and share the content, which leads to sites becoming like online communities. What is the importance of Web 2.0 for older people? When we think of Web 2.0, typically people think of web video and social networking. These two things allow people to connect with friends and family, research products, read and leave reviews, consume content immediately in video format, and many other things. This begs the question if Web 2.0 platforms are really age neutral. Usability issues are important to determine if a site will be effective, especially among older people. The applications are age neutral, but the architecture is not. This leads to issues of Web 2.0 that could affect usability for older adults. What is meant by web applications being age neutral, but architecture not being age neutral, is that applications are determined more so by lifestyle and background than age, which does make it age neutral. But the way designers use Web 2.0 platforms to create sites is not age neutral because they are not taking into account how people age and how that could impact the way that they interact with it. Complex interfaces can confuse the user in that if they do not understand how the site is working, it will impact their interaction with the site. Just because part of a site is available to users doesn't mean that it will be used. This impacts the value that is added to the site and can lead to frustrations for users. That is what is meant by few people contributing content. If something is available to users of a site, for example reviews, but no one places any reviews, that can cause frustration. Mashups, where multiple sources contribute to the information on the page, can impact the quality of usability of the site and can impact a brand's identity. Older adults and social networking is an interesting phenomenon. Typically, when you think of MySpace or Facebook or Twitter, a person would typically picture a younger person. But actually, the majority of Facebook users in the US are over 35. These sites bring people together, and the sharing of information is immediate and vast. Older adults go through decades of life, and they meet so many people throughout these years, and social networking allows them to keep in touch with these people that are not within immediate geographical distance. we must remember that with social network sites, they are completely dependent upon users contributing and communicating within the platform so that they can be sustained. Social networking could develop in many more ways than it already has, and that could have an impact on older adults in the way that they use the sites. Instead of the site's sole purpose being social networking will become integrated with another site that is based on an interest, industry, company, or so on, so that the content is more lifestyle based. Older adults may not be aware of this shift. There will also be added pressure to make markets open, and what's meant by that is that social networking sites will not be limited only to members. This will allow greater transfer of information and easier access among various sites. It will also be easier and cheaper to acquire social networking functionality. This means that because social networking is so developed now, things will be linked to each other more seamlessly and new platforms can be created very easily. Further, social networking is limited by a user's time. Time is limited and people will create demand for a site. The way people use social networking sites will constantly shift and change. When discussing Web 2.0, we must also address web video and the way that older adults use it. Web video provides another way of keeping in touch with others, and it allows people, specifically older adults, to watch something instantly, which is not something that they have always been able to experience. Previously, viewing was not instantaneous. People had to wait for a show to air. Now, with web video having an instantaneous feature, there could be a shift in cable and primetime TV, and this is already being seen by platforms like Sling TV. With Sling, all you need is internet access in your home. You do not need a cable subscription, but you do need access to Sling, and you can view channels like ABC or Fox or FX whenever you want. You can open up the app and start watching that show, similar to Netflix and Hulu. One thing companies and organizations must be aware of in using web video within their sites is that if there are too many videos to view, it can frustrate the user and take value away from the site and content that they are trying to communicate. Web video will likely develop and change over the years, and this could change interactions. One thing that's certain is that more things will shift to be in HD quality, and that will become the norm. This could further impact the way social media sites are developed and websites in general. The cost to create and edit video and the connection to the web you need have already shifted so greatly that any individual could work with web videos more easily now than ever. It is more atypical now that people do not have internet access within their homes than to have it. And people can very easily host a video or view a video now. How can organizations use web video and social networking to interact with older adults? For example, many people now use the internet to research health issues they may be having, and this could cause a change in medicine. One thing that a research article that I found discussed was that the younger the baby boomer is, the more education they have, and the more electronic devices they use, the more literate they will be in e-health. Basically, this is saying that the more education a person has and the more familiar they are with using an electronic device, the more capable they will be of researching health issues. Many people of the boomer generation are involved in leisure activities and travel. With Web 2.0 changes in social networking and web video, could there be changes to travel research that would end up impacting how people travel? Say there's a shift for sites to have videos of the rooms that are available. This could impact where people end up staying if they are able to view what a room looks like in the view of the room, compared to sites that may not have that feature. It should be noted, though, that age cannot be the only reason for bringing people to a site. If that's the only connection for a user to a site and other users of the site, it will not keep the interest of older adults. A person's connection to a site that brings them to it must be based on lifestyle and hobbies. What other inventions and services will impact Web 2.0 and older adults' use of it? The baby boomer generation is continually known to reinvent themselves, and they have always challenged the way that products and services are delivered and challenged society standards. They have always been a large driving force in cultural change since the beginning of their existence. So, what would keep them from demanding change in the web? What activities, services, or products could they not develop but seek out during their later years, and how will they find these products? They could research on the internet instead of asking a salesperson in a store about a product, or they can get a recommendation from a friend on Facebook.